So things can happen very quickly, and we can go triple, quadruple, 5x in a period of, in a period of 3 months. And if you miss those 3 months, you're going to miss everything. So the big problem with trading Bitcoin is, you can trade it just like anything else. And, you think you're making money, you're losing money. But the big problem with Bitcoin is if you're not in the market for those 3 months, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to get in the market and be there with any kind of size when this thing actually goes up. So that's why I think people hodl. That's why I really don't recommend trading. That's why I also really, as much as you might be tempted to do not sell Bitcoin short, because otherwise you're just going to get taken out. But really the main thing is you're not going to catch those moves unless you're in the market. And I do think that we are going to see another one of those moves in the next year. Let's say the next 12 months. Let's look at, first of all, let's look at this 2013 market. Now, as you can see here, right, Bitcoin, if you look at the entire 4 years of Bitcoin from 2009 to January of 2014, actually 70% of the move of that was done in 2 months, right? You could have done nothing, but just bought Bitcoin in September of 2013, and you would have captured 80% of the move, right? 70 to 80% of the move, depending on if you held it 3 or 4 months in the end of 2013. So really, we have this extreme tail here. This is, and by the way, if you looked here and you sort of said, oh, what's the chart look like? Well, the chart looked bad, right? The chart looked like we were rolling over, it's going down. And so there was really almost, oh, maybe we're going to come back. Oh, maybe this is going to be a double top. No matter what you do, you're not going to see this ginormous pattern here, this thing. So that's the first real kind of move up that we've seen. Now, if this was just a one-off, I would say, go ahead and trade it. But look what happened in 2017. Well, let's look in 2017. Let's go to here and let's look at that market. There again, what do we see? We see that the market did a whole lot of nothing. It never really crossed 6,000 until October, right? That's something we just don't remember because we always remember that it went to 20,017, but bear in mind that it only crossed 6,000 in October, and it really in November it only crossed 6,000. But if you almost all the gains, and this continued to go up really briefly, right? It touched 20,000 in December. If you had not been in Bitcoin in October, if you got out in October, you would have missed, again, you would have missed 3/4 of the move, right? So everything really, really happened over a 3-month period. Now, again, you say, okay, that's 2 times, right? But surely it didn't happen again the same way. Yes, but it did. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the third movement, 2020, 2021 bull market. And again, here we go, doing a lot of nothing, and this time it's again from, let's say from November on, right? November at 20,000. 4 months later, we're at 60,000, right? So things can happen very quickly, and we can go triple, quadruple, 5x in a period of, in a period of 3 months. And if you miss those 3 months, you're going to miss everything. So the big problem with trading Bitcoin is, you can trade it just like anything else. And, you think you're making money, you're losing money. But the big problem with Bitcoin is if you're not in the market for those 3 months, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to get in the market and be there with any kind of size when this thing actually goes up. So that's why I think people hodl. That's why I really don't recommend trading. That's why I also really, as much as you might be tempted to do not sell Bitcoin short, because otherwise you're just going to get taken out. But really the main thing is you're not going to catch those moves unless you're in the market. And I do think that we are going to see another one of those moves in the next year. Let's say the next 12 months. So, I don't know when. I don't know when it's going to be. It could be in a week. It could be in 3 weeks. It could be by the end of the year. It could be next year. I don't know. But we have to stay in the market to capture those moves. I just want to give you my outlook now on the next 18 months, because I think we're in a really good position. There could be some major drawbacks like we've had, but I do think that we have a lot of things that are very, very going to be, I think, going to make an epic 18 months here in Bitcoin. I think we're in a bull market. We've gone from the low of 15,000, 16,000, let's call it, to, close to 70,000 right now, 63,000. I think we have, we could easily go up another 4 to 5x from here. That would put us at 250,000. And it could be as much as 500,000. And I think if I had to pick a spot at what this happens, I think we're going to probably get the most of it by the end of 2025, right? So yeah, maybe it keeps on going until 2026. The next 18 months, I think, are going to be, could be really amazing. Could be absolutely spectacular. Somewhere between, 4x and 8x the return from where we are today. So that's just the bull market thing. Now, what else do I think gives me a lot of bullishness? Well, obviously the ETFs, right? So I think in addition to the fact that we're on sort of this bull market, we have the ETFs that are they're really just starting to kick in. And we saw yesterday we had GBTC with first positive inflow day ever. And I've sort of said, I think the ETFs, once we get back and we're, say, back to 70,000, I think those flows are going to come right back. Because I think these people, they may not participate when the market looks shaky, but when the market looks good, they're going to come back. And that's just like a turbo booster on top of the bullish sentiment that's just coming from the non-ETF part of the market. That's the second part. The third part, I would say, is, just from a pure fiscal irresponsibility, I think we have never looked more irresponsible than we are today. James Lavish documented this really well. Larry Lepard has documented this. Lynn Alden has talked about it. But, look, we're definitely in kind of this, I would say, sort of the end game of fiat here. We're just printing like crazy. We got just absolute insane people like Stephanie Kelton, who really think that we can just go print like whatever we want, we can just buy. And that won't have any impact on inflation or anything. She uses the example of World War II to show how great things are when we just go spend like drunken sailors on something like, the war effort. And her new war effort is, the Green New Deal and climate change. So I just think that this kind of thinking is so wrong. It is so destructive to capital. So I think the fact that people just don't seem to even care at all about deficits is a reason why Bitcoin is going to do really, really well over the next 2 years. And then the last of all, I think we have an election. And I think at the end of the day, this election, whoever emerges from this election as the victor is going to go spend like crazy. If it's Trump, they're going to cut interest rates like crazy. But regardless, I think people are going to want to own Bitcoin. So I think we have a really great setup for the next 18 months. Very bullish. You got to be there in order to participate, though. If you get off this train even once, if you get spooked out of your position, you will not participate. So, I just would recommend just being fully invested and just, having diamond hands.